Carini from Chasing Classic Cars, and every time I want to know anything about a car show, I go to carshowsafari.com. Go there and find out where all the shows are. You're going to love it.
A tragic accident was the turning point that led to the end of Chasing Classic Cars. The show, which had captured the hearts of car lovers, came to a sudden stop in 2021. The accident, along with other serious issues like crew mistreatment and legal problems, created a storm that the show couldn't survive. But what really happened behind the scenes that led to its downfall? Let's reveal the shocking and terrifying details that made the series go off the air in just a snap. Wayne's early days in the car world. Wayne was born into the world of cars on October 13, 1951. His dad, Bob Carini, owned a well-known car restoration business in Glastonbury, Connecticut. This place was known for fixing up cars that most people thought were too far gone. From a very young age, Wayne was right there in the thick of it, starting with small jobs like sweeping floors for $5 a week. As he grew up, he got his hands dirty with real projects, working on famous cars like Duesenbergs and Ford Model A's. He learned all the tricks of the trade and saw potential in cars that looked ready for the junkyard. Before we get into that, you should know that what Wayne uncovered was more valuable than anyone could have predicted. And this revelation is just the beginning of what will leave you speechless.
So this is the car that started it all, my obsession for weird and unusual cars. You know, I loved cars anyways.
When Wayne was just 9 years old, he had an experience that would stick with him for life. He got to ride in a real Ferrari. It was a 1960 Rosso Chiaro model, the peak of car technology back then. That ride was a game changer. Wayne decided he needed to know everything about these incredible machines. A year later, Wayne met Roger Barr, who was 15 years older and knew tons about cars. Roger had been a backup driver for the Porsche factory sports car team and also worked as a mechanic for the U.S. Air Force. He had a wealth of knowledge and became a mentor to young Wayne, sharing his deep understanding of cars. Interestingly, Wayne didn't always see his future in car restoration. He actually wanted to be an art teacher at one point and even went to college for it. But soon enough, he realized that his heart was really in working with cars, plus being an art teacher wasn't going to pay the bills. Around this time, Wayne met Luigi Chinetti, a big name in bringing Ferrari cars into America. Chinetti played a big role in getting Wayne to commit fully to the family business. In 1973, Wayne took over his father's business and later started his own place called F40 Motorsports. This shop specialized in finding and fixing up classic cars that were in rough shape. His work there made him well known in the car world. His fame in the car restoration business caught the eye of Jim Arusi, CEO of the Essex Television Group and a big car collector himself. Jim thought Wayne would be perfect for a new TV project. Motor Trend magazine was looking to get into TV, and they needed someone who wasn't just knowledgeable but also had a natural charm on camera. Wayne fit the bill perfectly. So Wayne started his TV career and Chasing Classic Cars was born. On the show, he shared his passion for finding, fixing, and talking about classic cars. Viewers loved his expertise and the way he could talk about cars in a way that was both informative and engaging.
Hey, so it's Wayne Carini. I'm here with my 1934 MG Airline Coupe.
The show did really well until it didn't. Despite its success, the show came to an abrupt end due to some behind-the-scenes problems, including a lawsuit and the poor treatment of the crew. Plus, a shocking accident related to the show made headlines and added to the trouble. Wayne Carini's path with Chasing Classic Cars is a story of a deep passion for automobiles, a career shaped by early influences and significant mentors, and an unexpected turn of events that led to the show's cancellation. His life shows how a childhood hobby can turn into a lifelong career and sometimes even a star role on television. Yet it also reminds us that unexpected challenges can put a stop to even the most beloved projects. Jim Asray knew that Wayne had a real knack for digging up old classic cars from the least expected places. That's why he suggested Wayne should have his own TV show, which they ended up naming Chasing Classic Cars. At first, Wayne wasn't too sure the show would take off, but Jim persuaded him to give it a shot, thinking they might as well see what happens. As Wayne's fame started to grow, one idea from an unexpected person was about to change everything. The TV show that changed everything. Chasing Classic Cars premiered in June of 2008, kicking off with a season of 13 episodes. Right from episode 1, where Wayne discovered a rundown Bugatti in an old barn, the show grabbed viewers' attention. People loved seeing these old cars come back to life. Almost overnight, Wayne turned from a local car enthusiast into a TV star, and Jim's idea seemed to pay off big time. The show's biggest draw was how real it felt. Wayne had been in the car business for over 40 years and used his contacts to find cars that were almost forgotten and then bring them back to their former glory. The most thrilling parts, though, happened at the auctions. Wayne would put his own money on the line, buying old beat-up cars that nobody else wanted. This was a big gamble, and he faced some heavy losses at times. Every car was a risk, but Wayne always felt it was worth it. Back at the shop, Wayne's longtime friend Roger helped with the car restorations. The audience really took to Roger because he was straightforward and clearly loved what he did. He handled each car with so much care, turning them into something that looked brand new. Once the car was fixed up, Wayne would try to sell it. Often he'd make a good profit, which added to the money he got from the TV show. Sure, he lost money now and then, but the successful deals made up for it. Those years when chasing classic cars was at its peak are seen as a revolutionary time for car-related TV shows. This show wasn't like the others with their over-the-top plots. The idea was simple but powerful. Take something old and broken and make it beautiful again. The excitement wasn't just in the auctions or the restorations, but also in how much Wayne knew about cars. He shared details about each car's history, why it was special, and what he planned to do with it. Some cars were so special that Wayne kept them for himself, adding a bit of intrigue to the show. These were cars he felt were really important, and he treated them with great respect. Despite its fresh concept, the show didn't hit it big right away. It was popular with car lovers but didn't catch on with a wider audience initially. However, as time went on, it built a strong following, especially thanks to Roger Barr, the lead engineer. Roger's story is quite different from Wayne's. Born on February 15, 1936 in Long Island, New York, Roger came from a simple background. He would sneak off to car shops as a kid, which is where he fell in love with fixing cars, much to his mother's worry. He'd come home covered in grease, showing just how committed he was from a young age. He dreamed of being an aviation engineer, but school was tough because he had dyslexia. Back then, that could have really held him back in his career. But Roger didn't let that stop him. He did well in high school and even went to college, which wasn't very common back then. He managed to keep pushing forward, even working as a babysitter to pay for college. After college, Roger went to Germany, hoping to get into the booming aviation industry there. He also started a side job driving for Porsche. When he came back to the U.S., he got a job with Pratt & Whitney, testing jet engines. He was tasked with solving the problem of birds getting sucked into engines. Roger came up with a design for flexible engine blades that could withstand bird strikes, which was a big success. An unexpected request from coworkers to look at their car reignited Roger's passion for cars. In 1965, when he was 29, Roger decided to go his own way.
I learned much of what I know, which is not a lot, we agree. But I hung around Joe Detroit's garage on Neudorf, Staten Island.
He opened the foreign car shop in Glastonbury, Connecticut, realizing that fixing cars was what he really wanted to do. Through it all, both Wayne and Roger showed that following your passion, taking risks, and doing what you love can lead to amazing things. Their adventures and the cars they brought back to life on Chasing Classic Cars not only entertained people but also inspired car lovers everywhere. The show had taken off, but Wayne's success wasn't just because of him. A friendship forged in the garage. Wayne Carini, a local guy from a small town, quickly became known as a reliable person to fix cars. His dad, Bob, would often send people with foreign cars to Wayne because he was really good with them. Wayne was known as the best mechanic in town and also loved racing cars for fun. This hobby and his skill with foreign cars helped him form a close bond with a young kid named Roger, who often hung around Wayne's shop amazed by what he saw. As kids, Wayne and Roger were tight friends, sharing a love for cars. But as they got older, their lives took different turns. While Roger's car repair business did well at first, it started to struggle because fixing foreign cars wasn't as special as it used to be. Eventually, Roger had to sell his business to a Volkswagen dealer. Looking for a fresh start, he got into teaching at Brown University and designed car parts for Chevrolet on the side, staying out of the limelight. Wayne, on the other hand, was just stepping into the world of television. Just as he was starting this new chapter, Roger moved back to his hometown after many years. Their reunion was perfectly timed. Wayne was doing great with his own chain of auto repair shops and needed a skilled hand like Roger's. Roger came on board as the head mechanic at F40 Motorsports, a job he kept for 3 years. When Wayne got the chance to start a TV show, he immediately thought of using Roger's skills to draw viewers. Roger's genuine, straightforward way of being and his deep knowledge made him a favorite among fans, turning him into a key part of the show. Together, Wayne and Roger worked on bringing old cars back to life, showing great respect for each car's history, which added real depth to the show. Their show, Chasing Classic Cars, focused on the beauty of restoring old cars without all the flash and drama typical of TV shows. It gave viewers a true sense of the artistry in car restoration, appreciated by those who love vintage cars. Roger's wit and dedication, combined with Wayne's lively personality, attracted more and more viewers. By the mid-2010s, the show had reached millions of households worldwide and was more popular than ever. However, not everything was as perfect as it seemed on screen. Despite the friendly facade, there was tension between Wayne and Roger. As the show grew in popularity, it became clear that Roger wasn't being paid what he deserved. In 2018, during the 13th season of the show, it came out that Roger was having a hard time with medical bills he couldn't afford. A big-hearted fan named Steve Cripps set up a fundraiser that brought in over $31,000 to help Roger. This situation opened up a lot of questions about why Roger was in such a tough spot financially and why his wealthy bosses weren't helping him out. It seemed strange that someone who appeared to be well off couldn't pay his own bills. This led fans to question the fairness of Roger's contract and his actual financial status. The truth about Roger's financial situation only came out after a really surprising event happened, revealing the complicated dynamics of his and Wayne's relationship and the less-than-ideal behind-the-scenes realities of their TV success. Their story showed that even in the glamorous world of television, things aren't always what they seem, and sometimes longtime friends have to navigate tough waters together. When season 14 wrapped up unexpectedly, it turned out to be Roger's last season on Chasing Classic Cars. His disappearance from the show right after a big fuss about medical bills seemed too timely, which got people talking. There was a lot of guessing about why he wasn't on the show anymore. Some even thought maybe the 83-year-old mechanic had died amid all the wild theories. Facing all these guesses, Roger decided to clear the air and tell his side of things. What he shared changed how people saw the behind-the-scenes of chasing classic cars. Success often comes with problems, and Wayne was about to find out that even close friendships can sometimes fall apart in the hardest ways. Roger's tough departure.
Don't start to learn to spell, you're going to end up being a car mechanic.
Roger explained that he was hurt in an accident at F40 Motorsports and he didn't get any money for this injury. This lack of support played a big part in his decision to leave the show. Although he had been a longtime member of the team, his exit was anything but smooth.
I don't remember any of it. I think it's time to just shut up. But,
According to Roger, the show didn't even give him a proper goodbye. Instead, he found out he was no longer part of the show through an email. Nobody helped him wrap up his work or even checked in on him. It came as a shock to fans when they learned that Roger hadn't been paid for his time on TV. Considering how important he was to the show, this was a big deal. Despite his crucial role, he only got his mechanic's pay. While this was a decent amount due to his experience, it wasn't enough compared to the popularity he brought to the show. At his age, in his mid-80s, Roger still had to work to pay his bills. He also left some of his valuable tools at the shop and couldn't afford to fix his house or even his 2 broken teeth because he just didn't have the money. This news hit the fans hard, and they couldn't believe how Wayne Carini, Roger's longtime work partner, could have let this happen. Even though Roger helped make the show a success, the program somehow dragged on for another 3 seasons over 2 years. But without Roger's genuine presence, the show lost a lot of its original appeal. The difficulties chasing classic cars faced weren't just about the way Roger was treated. Wayne encountered legal problems, and the COVID-19 pandemic piled on additional challenges. During the pandemic, everyone was confined to their homes, making television a major source of entertainment. Under these conditions, producing new episodes became extremely difficult. Due to various safety restrictions, Wayne was unable to go out and hunt for cars as he had in the past. By 2021, the show could only manage to release 5 episodes before it came to a halt. As time passed, a lot of fans began to come to terms with the possibility that chasing classic cars might not return. Roger's absence left a noticeable gap, and the hurdles in producing new material during the pandemic had a lasting impact. However, there remains a sliver of hope among some viewers that the show might make a comeback.
It was a week from Monday at a hot rod show over in Wallingford, Nostalgia Night.
That's a biggie.
Yeah.
The media landscape is reviving, with new streaming services emerging all over. This revival might open doors for the show to make a return, possibly with a fresh format or new hosts. However, replacing Roger would be a significant challenge, as his expertise and charm were key components of the show's appeal. Currently, there's no definite information about the show's future. Wayne has been relatively quiet, but he has been subtly hinting on social media that he might be considering reviving the show or returning to television in some capacity. For now, the fans are left in a state of anticipation, watching for any updates and ready to embrace any new developments. Amidst this uncertain waiting, discussions and debates among the fans continue to grow. They reminisce about past episodes, sharing their favorite moments and discussing what made the show special. Online forums and social media pages dedicated to chasing classic cars are buzzing with theories and hopes about the show's potential revival. Fans are not just passive observers, they're actively expressing what they'd like to see if the show returns. They talk about the importance of maintaining the original feel of the show while also introducing new elements that could refresh the viewing experience. In these discussions, some fans emphasize the need for transparency about the challenges and changes within the show. They argue that understanding what went wrong in the past and how it's being addressed could rebuild trust and interest in a new season. Meanwhile, others express a desire to see more behind-the-scenes content, which could give viewers a deeper appreciation of the car restoration process and the personal dedication involved. At the same time, there's a consensus that any new version of the show would need to respect its roots. This means finding hosts who are not only knowledgeable about cars, but also able to connect with the audience in a way that honors Roger's legacy. Was the tragic accident truly the reason behind chasing classic cars ending? Or is there something else Wayne Carini isn't telling us? Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.